Michael Starr managed a successful $100 million a year manufacturing business, and he's an avid adventurer who climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and canoed 54 days from Pittsburgh to New Orleans. He's an executive life coach, former nuclear trained submarine officer, and seasoned problem solver. And Mike empowered dozens of business improvement teams with one simple question to clearly identify obstacles and implement lasting solutions. And he graduated from Carnegie Mellon University with a BS in electrical engineering. And is active in the NAMI and AI Anon communities and has been married for 44 years. And as we prepare to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand, embracing detours, the language of resilience and transformation with Mike Starr, here's an exciting twist as always. Let us tickle our guest's brain. So, Mike, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. If you're ready, let's get started.
I am ready, Naveen.
Okay, here comes the first word, curiosity.
It's the spice of life. It's where we learn.
Invention.
Invention is occurs after we find peace.
Future.
The future is what we choose to make it.
Adventure.
Adventure is the excitement of tomorrow.
Inspiration.
Inspiration is what creates our creativity.
Inspiration creates our creativity. Awesome. And aliens.
Aliens. I wish they were. I think they are, but I think they're so far away they'll never get to us.
Next is universe.
The universe is reality. We should embrace it and be empowered by it.
Okay.
Let's not fight.
Awesome. Servant leadership.
A healthy way to achieve results with a team approach.
Role model.
Role model, Jordan Peterson.
Success.
Success is being at peace with ourselves and living in alignment with our convictions.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness is a useless word and cannot happen as a verb.
Empathy.
Empathy is at the core of being human and having a human experience and having peace with humanity.
Boundaries.
Boundaries are essential for civilization. Without boundaries, we have anarchy and conflict.
Peace.
Peace begins every morning within ourselves by accepting what's around us and finding a way to make the best of it.
And the last one is reality.
Reality should not be fought with. By being objective, we can make peace with it and be in harmony with it. But to fight reality, resistance is futile.
Got it. And that is so full of wisdom. And thank you so much for participating in the first rapid fire round. There is one more rapid fire round waiting towards the end of the episode. And before I formally invite and welcome you to the show, let me welcome the audience. So, folks, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value not only to your life, but also to your career. And thank you so much for tuning in. Mike, hearty welcome to TGV, the Guiding Voice. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and thank you for this honor to be part of your international and successful program.
Most excited to host you, Mike, and thank you so much for being part of our journey. And let's begin with your success mantra. So please share with us the top 3 things that have attributed to your success so far.
Be prepared. Look at things from a probability outcome. So you do things that are more probable to achieve what's important. Learn from your mistakes and your setbacks. That's really where we make our progress. So embrace setbacks and mistakes and like yourself. I think it's really critical that we learn to like ourselves, to be our own best friends. But to do so, our behavior should be in alignment with our convictions. It's hard to like yourself if you have cognitive dissonance and you're behaving contrary to what your values are. Of course, that does lead to another question of what are my values? Take some time, be clear about your convictions and what's important in life.
And this is a unique set of responses I've got so far on the show. being prepared, and also think about probabilistic outcome and plan things accordingly, and embracing setbacks, right? So this is so powerful. And Mike, let's move forward. Your journey has taken you through various roles and experiences, from managing a multi-million dollar businesses to adventurous expeditions like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. So how have these diverse experiences shaped your perspective on life as well as problem solving?
Well, I think if we look at our life as a laboratory, which I have, where we have, as in a scientific approach, is we have a hypothesis, we create this theory, and then we implement it and see how it works. So what I've seen in things like, say, for example, canoeing from Pittsburgh to New Orleans was 1,850 miles, took 54 days. It was about just taking it one step at a time. In this case, it was one paddle stroke at a time, and just being persistent and consistent with doing that. When it came to Mount Kilimanjaro, it really was about being prepared. Who's the best trekking group? How can I prepare physically? How can I prepare with my equipment? And be happy with the preparation. I think in manufacturing, we talk about focus on the process and not the outcome. So I focus on the process. I remember landing in Kilimanjaro Airport at near midnight. It was dark, and I said to myself, I'm ready. Let the adventure begin. I felt that I had succeeded at that time. And I guess lastly is just having fun along the way and realizing that no matter what the setbacks could be, whether we get a storm and canoeing, or we maybe someone gets sick on the trek up to Mount Kilimanjaro, or we have a problem on our nuclear submarine, is we'll find a way to persevere and to succeed and make progress.
So one thing that stands out for me is having fun along the way. Most of the times we focus on the goal or the destination while forgetting about having fun, right? I think that's a great reminder. So, Mike, also your journey is a testament to the power of resilience as well as transformation. So, can you share a pivotal moment during your 25-year mission that exemplified turning a significant detour into your shortest path forward?
Yes, my mission was to find a way to reduce conflict and despair, and create hope and real results for other people, because I saw too much suffering. For me, I think one of the turning points was a incident where it was dark at night. I was on my porch in Houston. There was an ambulance with the lights flashing and the police car there, and they took one of my family members out of the house. And it was due to, I guess, overdose in alcohol, and which ended up being a long-term alcoholism issue. And learning to navigate through alcoholism in my family was, and finding an empowering way to do that without placing blame or criticizing, and realizing people can help being who they are, began my path of empathy and embracing reality and seeking a better way.
Got it. Got it. So, Mike, also you introduce us to the NOOT, the natural order of things. So, can you explain a situation where recognizing NOOT changed your approach to a seemingly insurmountable challenge?
I coined that phrase, NOOT, the natural order of things, because so often I have seen, in many cases myself in the past, people were fighting with reality. There's a program called Star Trek Science Fiction, The Next Generation, and there's this nemesis called the Borg, and they're saying resistance was futile. Well, I saw, of course, it goes back to the definition of insanity, doing the same things over and over again, hoping to get different results. And so resistance is futile. I saw that in another instance where we had a serious mental health issue, and NAMI is a National Alliance for Mental Illness. I had to face a certain reality of a loved family member having a serious mental illness, and learning how to interact with them, which with times was challenging, and accepting the reality of, okay, they had great aspirations, I had great hopes for them, and now that has been completely decimated, and we're creating a new life, starting with simple things like, congratulations, you did the laundry today, as opposed to having some high-powered corporate job in the law profession.
That's so interesting perspective. And also your perspective on language as a tool for transformation is also intriguing. Like, could you give an example of how a change in language led to a significant change in perception or outcome, either personally or in
Yeah.
your coaching practice?
Yes, sir. Well, my premise is that if we improve our language, I don't like the word change. I like improve because that tends to be more empowering and less likely to create setbacks. If we improve our language, there's three types of language: empowering, useless, and tyrannical language. We improve our thinking. If we think better, we perceive the reality around us better, and we interact with it in a wiser way, more likely to get healthy outcomes for ourselves and other people. And one very simple example is we have two dogs, two little doggies, and they're rescue dogs, and one is a Chihuahua, and his name is Rippy. And when I first got Rippy, I said to my wife, he's the most unfriendly dog that we've ever had, and I had this view of him as unfriendly. And I thought about it a little bit using the power language. I says, maybe he's just afraid. Maybe he's insecure. Maybe it's just baked into his DNA. And by going from the word unfriendly to the word of insecure or fearful, it made me more mindful, more kind, more gentle, and I approached him more slowly. And our relationship is much, much better because of it.
Great. And also, if you consider your experience where change in language from useless or dangerous words to wise, empowering language created a self-fulfilling prophecy that led to success or harmony. And I recall when I asked about forgiveness, you said it is not of that use, right? So that is where the question comes from.
Yes. Well, it's probably one of the more controversial positions in my premise. That forgiveness is a useless word. It's not doable. It's not something that really, you can run, you can write, you can build, you can study, but forgiveness is not doable. But what we can do, if we're trying to go from state A, where we harbor animosity and have upset, to state B, where we no longer harbor that animosity and have that upset, the way to do that is through understanding why someone or something became as it did. And that goes back to NOOT, that it was the natural order things, that things would become as they became. And it was inevitable, absolutely inevitable, that they were and are who they are, and they can't help it. And from that vantage point, we can make progress. And there's actually nothing to forgive because we understand with compassion they can't help doing that. And then we just learn what I call setting boundaries with dispassionate consequences. And we set boundaries in dealing with them in the future.
Okay. So apart from forgiveness, are there any other words we have to avoid?
Well, a lot of the language that we use is what I would call binary, calling someone stupid, calling someone a deplorable, or like I mentioned, friendly, or terms like hate speech, or even success is a little bit of a dangerous word because there's a lot of misconceptions about what healthy success is. But there are many, many words that are dangerous, that take us in the wrong direction, that cause us to lose our humanity. It causes us to denigrate others and see others I call it, it's a way of building up our identity by putting somebody down, contra identity. And to avoid that, by having empathy and understanding for them and compassion for them. There's any words where we label somebody that puts them in a binary box, and we miss the mosaic, we miss the tapestry, the totality of their life, that they're a father, they're a son, they're a neighbor, they're someone in their religious community. We are a multitude of roles and facets, and we're beautiful in many ways and flawed in others.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying that. And I loved your dimension, and your thought process is so different, Mike. And we have had an incredible conversation so far. And it's time for us to add some more excitement and some more fun to the episode. So if you're ready, let me trigger this second rapid fire round.
Yes, sir.
All right. I love the spirit. And let's get the ball rolling. Here comes the first question. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
It would say seek, pursue, empathy, and understanding.
Seek, pursue, empathy, and understanding. So powerful words. And then, can you complete this phrase three times? Never have I ever
hurt somebody intentionally, taken any illegal drugs, and never lost faith in my view that the future could be better.
Wow, superb. And can you describe yourself in just one word?
Empathetic.
And if you were to swap your life with someone for a day, who would it be and why?
I think it would be the Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama. Oh, awesome. And what is the reason?
He's a symbol of peace, empathy, compassion. I think he could build on his view of compassion a bit more, but he is about love, caring, empathy.
Superb. And Mike, I'm sure you might have heard about this Doraemon gadget. There is a concept called Anywhere Door. So if you get a chance, where would you go using that Anywhere Door?
Can I go back in time?
Anywhere.
Well, I would like to go two places. Can I give two answers?
Yeah,
I would like to go back to the Jurassic period because I find the time of the dinosaurs fascinating, and I just think it would be very cool to see those giant birds flying and the brontosauruses and T-Rexes. As far as a location on Earth, I would like to go to India. I would like to go to India. My daughter spent a month in India, and it was her best experience.
Sorry, you have a host in me. Anytime you come to India, do let me know. I would make sure I'm here.
That'd be wonderful. That'd be wonderful.
And good to know that, Mike. And with that, let's fire the last bullet. So, what is one electronic gadget or a fantasy gadget that you like to see or invent yourself?
I think it's readily available. I would like to see an AI communicator where you could have a conversation and the responses would lead you towards a path of empowerment, understanding, compassion, and also setting boundaries with dispassionate consequences. I think in our heads we have these very dangerous, dark conversations, this unhealthy self-talk, and if we could just turn to our AI and say, "Hey, I'm feeling angry today," or "I'm feeling upset," I think you could program that to really lead you into an empowering and healthy point of view that day.
That's so creative, Mike. I wish this becomes a reality. Of course, it is still in the nascent stage, but yeah, good one. And I loved all your responses. And let's flip back to the mainstream. So here comes the last but one question. In your view, what are the most common linguistic pitfalls that hinder relationships, and how can we shift our language to foster deeper connections?
Well, I think one, as I mentioned before, is labeling people in a binary box that they're either this or they're nothing else. I think what's particularly effective is not using the word listening, but to use a word that I call relationship listening. And in relationship listening, I have these states of being that help guide us, to remind us to be better. And one is called be the student listener. So we listen from the standpoint of learning something about them, learning something about ourselves, or learning something about the world. And also to be what I call the empowering mirror, so that we reflect back to them what they're saying, but to do it in an empowering and healthy way. But one thing I've learned in the mental health community is that the ability to listen effectively, relationship listening, reflective listening, as Xavier Amador would talk about in his book, I Am Not Sick, is it has huge transformative and healing benefits to let somebody know, I understand you, I get you, and I understand why you feel the way you do. So many people feel unheard and unacknowledged. And once they feel heard and acknowledged, they're much more willing to trust you and have a healthy relationship. And you're in a better position to influence them to do better for themselves.
Wow. So powerful. And Mike, I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation today. And how is your experience being hosted on The Guiding Voice?
Fun, exciting, and just thrilling. It's just fun as could be. Your energy is is very catchy, and I am sure your audience just loves tuning into your program every week.
Absolutely, and that's why we are getting a lot of love blessings from 130 plus countries and counting. So thank you once again for being part of the show, and I really look forward to having you again on the show in future, and wish you all the best on everything that you do.
Thank you, sir. The best to you.
Thank you so much. And friends, that was our episode with Michael Starr. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. In case if you haven't already subscribed to TGV, the Guiding Voice podcast, please subscribe to our podcast, because subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes. And also, if you have enjoyed the conversation and found it useful, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who would also like TGV, the Guiding Voice. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. All right, now let's hop into the trivia segment. Having had amazing conversation with Mike Starr on the linguistic approach in terms of bettering the relationships, and also he has shared certain experiences of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and so on. I wanted to cover few aspects related to climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, and here is the misadventure of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Reaching the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro is not a small feat. One lesser known but amusing fact about such climbs is the phenomena of summit selfies which have gone wrong. A picture trying to capture the perfect moment at the peak only for the photo to feature a frozen smile, a sneeze caught in action, or the classic half eaten snack bar that accidentally photobombs the shot. And the journey might be inspiring, but the summit photos don't always ascend to the same heights of dignity. So, likewise, if you have any interesting facts related to Mount Kilimanjaro, do let me know. I'll be happy to learn from you. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV, the Guiding West family. Folks, we would love to hear from you. So do not hesitate to share your ideas, feedback, topic recommendations, guest speaker suggestions, either through our social media platforms, or you can also email us at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com, for as in digit 4 and you as in letter U. And let's create content that resonates with you. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner. And my goal is to have impactful conversations that improve not only your life, but also your career. Until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember, the future holds great things because the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care.